do it the right way and what you had to do anyway to get it done.
Yeah. All right. So tomorrow is going to be this food and wine festival, right? So it's going to be food and wining and dining, and there's going to be a band there, and there's going to be a violinist with her jazz band playing on that as a stage. This is where the mixer is going to be, where all of the microphones and speaker hookups is going to go to here, right? And then I'm positioned here with this camera, and that cart has a computer in it. So the purpose of this is to capture the performance and stream it into the culinary building. Because the culinary building, that's actually where there's like where people are going to eat, and also VIP section up on the second floor. So there's a TV screen up there that I have to get this capture into there, and then there's also screens. I don't know, you guys have already been in there. You see the screens up on the top where you eat. It's going to have that feed into those. So right now, actually, I'm running the test, and right now it is picking up the stream, feeding it into there, and I got to run it for 4 or 5 hours to make sure everything runs okay. I don't want any problems tomorrow. So if there's any problems, this 4 or 5 hour test, I'll be able to fix it for tomorrow.
Yeah, what about when everyone else is online?
Oh, what do you mean?
Will that affect your data?
No, because it's a local. It's not being streamed out to the social media platforms.
Okay.
Although it can be, does have the capabilities for that software wise, and I'll get to a little bit about the hardware and software of what's running that. But yeah, they only wanted to keep it locally, so it's only streaming local over the school's network into those TV screens over there.
Blue cable's a hardwired Ethernet cord going in the computer.
Yeah.
So that plugs it into the local network as opposed to having to worry about all the
Which goes
Wi-Fi.
into that
because I
side
was like,
panel.
Wi-Fi, no.
No, that blue cable.
Yeah, it goes in that side panel right there, power and data, and that goes in the building, and then of course it touches the rest of the network. So in terms of the equipment that I'm having here, this is a little bit of a Mickey Mouse setup because it wasn't really designed for like professional streaming wise. We did order equipment, but that's not going to come yet. Hopefully it comes before graduation, because graduation is going to be pro multicam switching, live streaming type of stuff, including a drone. We're going to have a drone on
Nice.
graduation. That's going to be part of the live stream. Hopefully all that stuff gets here in time, because it's ordering process is
What
kind
kind of drone are you using?
It's going to be the Inspire 2.
Okay.
Yeah, and so that's a whole nother world discussion about the equipment that needs for that. But anyways, so what I have here in that cart is a computer and a capture card for the computer, and so the camera is outputting a 1080i signal out of the component output port. There's a cable that goes out of there, and if you guys recognize, if you guys have taken any video classes here, that's the 610 camera. That's one of the extra ones. It's not the one we check out. It's actually one of an instructor's that he was using, but he's not. I gotta borrow it from him. So as old as those cameras are, they still got some pretty good life in them, right? And even some that we have that we're checking out, some of them are kind of wonky a little bit. But for streaming capabilities, it's actually great for it because I'm not recording the tape. I'm not outputting from the DV port to a recorder or anything like that. I'm just going a video out, right? And it happens to be component, which is 1080i. And it goes into the capture computer. There's a computer in there. And there's a capture card in the computer that accepts a signal. And then there's software that I use, which is called XSplit, right? That software connects to all of the social media platforms for live streaming. It has all the protocols. For example, Facebook, YouTube live stream, and Twitch, and then a few other protocols.
So we could use that if we had that rig in the room. Then you could do where you're not doing the Google Hangout on air. You're doing an actual camera shot, not from the computer.
Yeah.
That's the card that would allow the XSplit.
Yeah.
Give you that output to like YouTube for the channel that we do.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this typical setup is something that you see a lot with people who stream live, like from their homes or like video game streams. So like on Twitch or gamers who live stream, typically they'll have something like a console, right? Instead of a camera, they have a console going into the HDMI capture card on the computer, right? And then they have a webcam, and that's USB, and that's their camera source. So, and so they overlay the webcam on top of the game feed, right? So that's the typical scenario, and this is the exact same hardware, also the same software that most of those people use.
So
for
XSplit
that.
will let you do the overlay?
Yeah, so you can have multiple scenes, so you could switch. So you could go from like just you, right? That's one scene. You could switch to just the game, right? And then you could switch again to the game and a little picture-in-picture of you down in the corner, right? It's probably typical. A lot of you probably seen, you know, those video game streams, how they do that. That's what I'm using here. But there's also another software called OBS. That one's a really popular one if you want to play around with the software. It's called OBS Studio. It's free. It's open source. It's pretty powerful, and you don't necessarily have to have a capture card, right? So you can just install that on your computer, and you're going to capture your desktop, right? And then if you have a webcam, you can capture that, and then you could just start doing either tutorials. That's what I got when I started on, was like making tutorials, capturing the screen, and then with my little webcam of me down in the corner, right? And that's what you could record. You don't have to stream. You could record straight to a video file, and you know, upload it to YouTube or whatever. It doesn't have to be a live stream, right? So those are a lot of options that you can do in terms of recording. If you want to like bootleg some stuff too, you can just play a video and just record that screen, and then you got that.
Right.
You got that video file, right? So you can use it in your projects or whatever. And it's OBS, and that's free. So all of that, and it works. It's very powerful. So that's what I'm using there. But eventually, what we we have ordered is something called from Blackmagic called a ATEM production studio switcher. So it accepts multiple inputs, sources, like up to 8 HDMI. So I could have 8 cameras. Or SDIs, right? Typically, you want to use SDI over HDMI because SDI cables, you could run long cables.
Oh, yeah.
Right, with it. So that has 8 inputs, and then it has software for you to switch between, and it just has one out. But you still need the computer with the capture card, because that one out of the switcher, that's what's going to send it to the internet, right? So I still need that. Right now, I just have one camera, and I have one capture card, and it's one input, and it sends it out to the internet or wherever. And so it's just one, and that's enough. But if I wanted to do more than one camera, I need that switcher. Right?
Are there any soft switcher softwares that you know of, or is it still pretty much the hardware Blackmagic or Crash Valley, whatever those switchers are?
The software way, like OBS, that is considered a
soft
software
switcher.
switcher, right? But you still need the physical
The
input.
box for the inputs.
Yeah. So you could use, like, I've used 3 different capture cards in one computer, but that's very problematic.
Okay.
Like, it's not meant, like, when you buy that thing, you know, the game capturing device, they're assuming it's designed for just you having one console, one thing that you're going to capture and stream, right? When you start adding like 2 or 3 different ones, and you can't buy 2 or 3 of the same ones, because the computer is going to get confused and be like, you know, installing drivers and stuff. It's a little technical, but it's going to say, it's only going to recognize one, right? Not going to recognize 3 of the same ones. So you'd have to, and I've done this before, where I've used 3 different captures, devices made by 3 different companies. So that
so the drivers don't
so that it would all work. And then that was my ghetto switcher, because that ATEM, that hardware ATEM switcher is like $1,000.
Yeah, not cheap.
So yeah, but the 3 game capturing game capturing devices is about $100 to $150. Right? It's still expensive though for 3 of them.
Yeah.
But I had to do that, and it worked for the most part. But lately, I've been trying to do 2 on this thing.
Yeah.
And it's real glitchy.
Yeah.
So I think I'm at the, you know, at
The
the
switch
max.
is the way to go.
Yeah, you got to get that switcher. So the cheapest one for 1080p is about $1,000 from Blackmagic. But the one we ordered is a 4K switcher, so it can take 4K cameras
Nice.
and stream 4K. And eventually, I want to try to do that, because we have the bandwidth here to like stream 4K out to YouTube or Facebook. You typically you can't use that stuff at home because your home internet is not fast enough to stream 4K. 1080p 60, that's even pushing it. But
You guys understand when you said 1080p 60? You guys understand 1080p 60 frames per second?
yeah. So, but for this, what we got going on here is sufficient.
What's the upload speed you guys have here? Ethernet?
Here?
Yeah.
It's supposed to be 1 gig up and down. But like the buildings though, it's probably broken off. I think I've seen something like around 500 up and 500 down,
Yeah.
like per building. But
Well-
that's still pretty good.
What would you suggest you wanted to do something mobile? You know,
What do you mean, like if you had no internet?
well, not the well, if you didn't have Ethernet and you wanted to just use the Wi-Fi.
You know that Ethernet card.
Oh
Is
yeah,
there
so the like
an Ethernet cable, yeah, like you had to go from a wireless device, some way to stream out, like you don't need.
if your bandwidth isn't too good, like Wi-Fi, the only thing you have to worry about is drop connections.
Yeah.
So once it drops, and then you have to reconnect, if it can automatically reconnect, your stream will still be okay. But if you don't have a whole lot of bandwidth because you're on Wi-Fi, the only thing you can do is drop the resolution down to 720p. 720p, 30 frames, and then the bandwidth is a lot less. It
Okay.
doesn't take, and there's even like a calculation of how much bandwidth you should have depending on the resolution you want to stream. All these softwares has like a tester, so you can just like test my bandwidth, and it'll tell you, all right, based on your internet connection, the max you can stream is 720 without any problems, or 1080 without any problems.
So like Kevin has a mobile hotspot, right? So that mobile hotspot's only going to be as good as the cellular connection wherever you are. But if you came out, it's good, depending on what you're paying for.
Yeah, and there's apps that you could download for your phones if you want to use it as a hotspot. There's like a speedtest.net. That's an app that you could download, and it will test the internet speed of your phone. And then you can do the Wi-Fi. I never tried doing the mobile hotspot, but you could as a backup.
I've done it on T-Mobile at the SLS hotel when the Wi-Fi didn't work at the hotel. My phone got extremely hot, but I had to plug it in, but it worked.
And this software, it does have the capability